What's up? It is 3 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Cannabis Legalization News, where we explain marijuana laws so you can change them. Today, we're going to be talking about Mexico's medical marijuana program. Colorado made over $2 billion in cannabis sales and some other news. So let's just get right into it. Hey, Miggy and Tom. Oh, Miggy.
Let me in.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hopefully you're all enjoying it.
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them. Yeah, let's talk about how, Valentine's Day is for smokers. At least in 2021 it is. So
right.
There was an article out. Cannabis topicals evidently make big gains around Valentine's Day. Beverages, edibles see a bump too. So people are getting candy and they're getting salves for one another. Massage oil / lube is up 115%. Around, can you imagine that? Valentine's Day and lube sales are through the roof.
Well, they've been around for a while, though, man. We have a lube that's, I guess, infamous in the Seattle market here, Washington State market, Velvet Sex Swing, I think is what they're called. But, I mean, whatever. Yeah. It's CBD everything, right? CBD pillow, CBD.
Put CBD in everything. That's right. Well, the edibles, beverages increased the sales as well, and according to Seattle-based data analytics firm Headset. So it's not just topicals; it's also edibles and beverages that peak going into Valentine's Day.
Little infused chocolates, little infused strawberry dip chocolates.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how great your state is with infusions. Infusions could be so wonderful depending on how regulations are. But sometimes when those regulations are, they have to be specifically dosed, individually wrapped, child-proof.
Well, we're 10 milligrams.
Right. We're 10 milligrams as well. It's kind of like an industry standard. And then everything has to be like individually set, packaged and sealed and childproof. And so like edibles are still going to be a homemade treat. I mean, the brownies that you can make yourself are going to be better than any dispensary brownie you're going to be able to buy for the foreseeable future.
Well, the regulation in California for edibles, because they used to be like 100 milligrams, but now because of I think the recreational prop, they have to have that cap. So, I mean, I'd miss 100 milligram options.
Yeah, I can't believe 100 milligram. That was like a serving, because like 100 milligrams would put me asleep for a bit.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's what they said it was. You have a little lag going on, or is it
a little? I might have a lag. I might. It's like -4 degrees outside, so it's exceedingly cold where I'm broadcasting from, and I'm not sure if that's going to screw with the internet at all. You have a snowstorm going in Seattle.
Yeah, it's a little winter in Wonderland. I wish I had a better camera for you to see. I tried to. I was playing video games and smoking a bowl, and I was looking out my window, going, "God damn it! I'm in ultimate adulthood right here. Like, I'm smoking weed and playing video games, and look at the snow. It was so beautiful." I had a moment, but my shitty camera couldn't capture nothing. So
that's all right. I'm sure if it would have captured it, it wouldn't have been as good as what you were saying.
Oh yeah.
No, we already have a good case of Groundhog Day going on in central Illinois for about the past week. It's just been frigid, gray, and snowing. And so it just keeps snowing. But it's that snow that's kind of like ineffective simply because it's like 1 degree outside. And so it's just really powder and it's just blowing everywhere. Yeah. It hasn't stopped in days.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Well, here we just get the rain. So, whatever. Hey, did you hear about Wisconsin?
What's the Wisconsin news? Let's share that.
There's a mom that's trying to push legalized marijuana, and she's not a pothead.
The mom that's trying to push legalized marijuana is not a pothead. That sounds like, something that is already in, what is this? This is Madison's Wisconsin State Journal. So just that she has to tell people that she's not a pothead kind of shows the journalistic slant that you have to deal with in Wisconsin. So like, just because you want to legalize marijuana, you have to be a pothead. And then why is that term pothead in the headline? Seriously.
Yeah. And I can imagine in that state, the banter has to be, look, I just believe in, and this is unfortunate. This is another reason why there's the bias. It proves biasness. It proves that we're going against this uphill battle.
Yeah, right. And remember, I went to Marquette Law School, and so that's one of the law schools that's in Milwaukee.
Hold on. Sorry, man. Hey.
Oh, yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
I
shit.
went to Marquette Law School, and Marquette's it's a basketball school. That's their big team. They don't have a football team, but they have a big famous basketball team. And Marquette's kind of like in Peoria. Then we have Bradley Braves. Both these teams play not at their own home location because then they wouldn't be able to serve alcohol on, a campus property. But they have their basketball games at the Peoria Civic Center or I'm not sure where they have it now. Now they might actually have it where the Bucks play downtown, but it used to be the Bradley Center in downtown Milwaukee. And in downtown Milwaukee, when you would go to a Marquette game, the reason it's in the Bradley Center is so you can buy beer, and they would sell you 32-ounce Miller Lights. It was fantastic. Why they love to party, but then it's like, hey, you be careful with that 32-ounce Miller Light, but no pot.
Well, in Wisconsin, the goddamn snow's like 6 feet. Yeah, so sorry about that because my old lady's on her way back from work, and I just yelled at her. I was like, "Don't call me unless it's an emergency." Like that's why I was freaking out.
Valentine's Day.
I'm telling you, man. Like I do care, but like,
isn't it also your anniversary?
It is. And even worse than that, we got married in Vegas.
Hey, how many years ago was that?
It was over 20. It's been a long time. Yeah.
What happens in Vegas can last a long time.
Yeah, and sometimes, whatever. I can't say shit. I just gotta be like, "Happy Valentine's, everybody."
All right, what's on the cannabis legalization news of the moment?
What else we got? We got oh yeah,
KNY. What's NKY? Northern Kentucky. A state rep from Northern Kentucky has filed legislation that would legalize adult recreational use of marijuana. Campbell County resident Rachel Roberts from District 67 says that legalization would open up new tax revenues, lead to the expungement of criminal records for thousands of convicted of weed-related misdemeanors, and also open doors to those who suffer from chronic medical conditions to use the plant as a pain aid.
Do you think she's a pothead?
I don't think it matters. I think that those are all great ideas. I'm going to have to go follow this Rachel Roberts on Twitter. She has a whole 973 people following her.
I think I'm one of them too.
Well, no, so am I.
Plus one.
Do it. Yeah. And so it's HB 467, legalize, tax, expunge. We should check out HB 467. I'm going to get a research attorney on that. Pull the bill. See how they do licenses.
I imagine they're going to have great weed too.
Kentucky. Yeah. Kentucky should have pretty good weed simply because they had that historic usage of growth down in the hollers and in the hill country.
The marketing though, man, it could be like, hey, come get the green grass in the bluegrass state.
Mm-hmm.
We got the best green grass in the bluegrass. I mean, there's so many opportunities.
I'm assuming, there's going to be, like, as soon as there's some cultivators in Kentucky, there's going to be so many bluegrass strain names trying to float around out there. No, we got that real bluegrass. No, we got the real Kentucky bluegrass. I want to live in a future where there's so many growers, legal licensed growers in Kentucky. They're all arguing over which one came up with a cultivar Kentucky bluegrass. That would be such a future that would be so much better than just figuring out how they can legalize it so they can keep arresting you,
I want to live in a future where every grower in each state can have a pissing contest with another grower in another state.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
The Appalachian shit that you're talking about all the time.
Yeah, the Appalachian shit is funny, but then it's an agricultural commodity. It'd be like two farmers saying, like, your corn's weak sauce. My corn is the boss.
Same, man.
I would love to see two farmers getting in a hoedown about like who can grow corn better. Is that kind of how it is when two growers are just arguing about whether or not they can grow better weed?
But then who like the first person who does say, I'm going to call this the bluegrass strain, should they call you to trademark it and do the IP?
You can't trademark it. You might be able to get a plant patent on it though. And then of course that you can't trademark it, but you can get a plant patent on it. So then somebody else could get a different strain, also call it Kentucky bluegrass, also patent it, for its own unique particular genetic profile. And then, like, as soon as it's legal, you guys really have a pissing match about who was using it first and should get the trademark.
Well, anyway. Did it the IP, because we talked about with that one gentleman, it doesn't also include like, okay, we're using this soil with these, with this humidity percentage and this pH and all this other stuff?
Perhaps. He made a distinction between a full utility patent and also a plant patent. And I would have to have, that was Attorney Dale Hunt from Planet on. We'd have to have him back on to explain, like, where the plant patent and what that protects, and then what the utility patent protects.
What's going on in Jersey, man?
I'm not sure. Let's bring up a Jersey article. New compromise offer to fully end dispute holding up New Jersey legal weed issue. That's pretty cool. So the NJ Cannabis Insider is hosting. Okay, that's an editor's note. I like how some articles put advertisements right in the middle of the article.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That's the best. So anyway, the compromise offered to finally end this dispute over the NJ legal weed. Where's the actual meat and potatoes of it? It still does not gotten to like where that is.
No,
so
Murphy
like,
hasn't sent a bill.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to like scan the article to find out, besides the advertisement, the lead of the article, which is, you know, where the most important information should be in advertising.
Yeah. Shit.
Where's the specifics about like whatever the resolution was that they were hung up on? Okay, there it is. Toward the bottom, over a Big Lots ad. People caught stealing marijuana and those that are under 21. Okay, and so like it's what were they really kind of hung up on? How can we keep arresting people after it's legalized? So like, you know,
that's so dumb.
People cannot use search based only on smelling marijuana or detain people past the point of issuing a fine or warning. That's nice. So police can no longer search people based only on the smell.
Nice.
Officers must have body cameras on while interacting with an underage person.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So it was the hang up was a lot, not about the cannabis license stuff itself, like the really interesting things that we like to do, you know, look at the licenses, how can you get into the business? It was more about the justice aspect of how do they still keep it illegal while they legalize it.
Yeah, but I still think, I mean, not still think, but I think though that at least that's the smell thing alone. That's a step up. Like this is what it's about. This is, at least for me, it has been just taking the criminality out of it. Like
right. Well, they have, but still, people ages 18 to 20 caught with weed are going to face $50 fines, and those younger will receive written warnings that can escalate upon each offense. And so they're trying to decrim it. Well, they're trying to legalize it, but still allow you to like get arrested or in trouble for it for underage use.
Yeah. But that was how California had it for a while. When I was younger, I got busted for under an ounce, and that was for possession was the rule of law. And that was just a ticket.
Well, I like how the bill's also going to require police to undergo training on how to interact with people underage caught with marijuana, on how to avoid implicit biases and enforcing the penalties.
The camera thing's huge too. I mean, at least that will give opportunity for defense in case, as we've seen before, people get shot over stupid shit.
Now, you can still get arrested for getting caught selling weed to those underage. And you're going to face escalating fines there, starting at $250 for a first offense, up to $1,000. And someone who knowingly purchases weed on behalf of a person under 21 can face 30 days in jail or a fine of $500. So it is still completely illegal to buy weed for somebody underage in Jersey. You can go to jail for that.
Or you can pay your fines and get out of free jail almost.
Or a fine of $500. You know, but somebody might be like, wait, I gotta stay here for free, or I pay $500. Yeah, I don't think that's the problem. Like, I would pay $500 to avoid staying at jail for free.
Yeah. And Jersey's very small. I can imagine there was those guys that be like, "Yo, I just need a place to rest for at least a month."
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they really did take some time to make sure that these types of amendments to the bill that was competing. I mean, it really didn't have to do with the licensing aspect. It had to do with the justice aspect. So they addressed how they're going to try to do the enforcement and also protect those under 21, but still make sure that it's not going to result in the criminalization and then the disparate enforcement. Yeah. The previous, that was what killed the previous bill. It fell apart after members of the Black Legislative Caucus said they feared enforcement could disproportionately target Black and brown youth.
That's important to say again because you just chopped up. But yeah, so are you frozen? Are you done? Man down. Yeah. That was a very important thing to say, though, because the first one got kicked because the Black Caucus thought it was not social justice enough, which it's 100% true. Totally agree with it. And then I was surprised by Kansas, dude. On two accounts.
What's Kansas?
They got a 20-year-old lawmaker, and that guy filed in a decrim bill.
Wait, somebody can like be too young to go to a bar, but old enough to be elected to somewhere.
That's fucking awesome. That's a
20-year-old Kansas lawmaker introduced a bill on Tuesday to broadly decriminalize drug possession in the state. Representative Aaron Coleman defeated a 7-term incumbent to win a Democratic primary last year, filed the legislation. He told Marijuana Moment in a phone interview on Wednesday that he was inspired by a voter-approved initiative in Oregon that ends the threat of jail time for simple drug possession.
Hey, I need to take a timeout for 5 minutes.
All right, I'll get back to it. Representative Aaron Coleman defeated a 7-term incumbent in a Democratic primary last year, and he filed the legislation. Marijuana Moment reached him for a comment in a phone interview, and he said that he was inspired by a voter-approved initiative in Oregon that ends the threat of jail time for simple drug possession. That's what got me into this, he said. So that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, I just, like you said, though, how is it that someone's 20-year-old could be a policymaker and yet can't drink? Like this, of course, we could go to
use the cannabis. Like, well, of course, if it's all decrimmed, it's decrimmed and then it's a fine, but I don't think that's a decrim underage, an additional fine, right?
Yeah, but along those lines in the military, right? You can go to war at 18 to 20 and die for your country, but you can't have a beer. You used to be able to have, vote. Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily approve of the 21 age limit for a lot of those substances. Well, with the exception of nicotine, because then there's a lot of studies showing that, like, if you get them to stop before they're 21, they're substantially less likely to ever be addicted to it. And nicotine will actually, kill you. Alcohol may give you an accident that kills you.
No, but they can't. You can't OD on alcohol. I had a friend that woke up on a ditch and was getting his stomach pumped that morning. So, again, when's the last time anybody did that on weed?
Right. But you also said that he woke up in a ditch, and so it's accidents will befall you if you get drunk. You are way more likely to act like an idiot and do something that will hurt you. But I can't say the same thing for weed. I can't be like, remember that one time you got really, really high and then laid down in a ball on the floor,
Slept all night.
Slept. Remember that time you had 2 pot brownies and then you woke up 18 hours later?
And then dabbing horror stories. The only one I can tell you is I had a friend that threw up. Like, I've seen people take too much all at once, and then again, it's not a consistent thing where they're going to be dying. They were fine an hour later.
And they were doing the most egregious use of the product as well. They were probably trying to be a glutton, you ever see that show Man versus Food? They were doing the Man versus Food type challenge, but with dabs and weed. And they were trying to go over the top. That is somebody lining up some shots of Everclear and just hitting it to the head.
I think you nailed it.
Way more fine than if that was pure liquor,
or even. I think you have the perfect analogy as far as when people do have that moment of took too much. It's not because you're trying to medicate and treat yourself. You're let's have a good time Friday and see where it happens. And then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that. Speaking of what's going on in Michigan?
What is going on in Michigan? I'm going to find that news story next. High Times is reporting this one.
Court approves medical marijuana during probation. Oh, nice.
Another state has ruled in favor of allowing people on probation to access their medication. Michigan Appeals Court has unanimously ruled that judges may not prevent the use of medical marijuana by those on probation for a crime. The Michigan Court of Appeals ruled by a 3-0 vote that people on probation who have a valid medical marijuana card issued by the state are immune from any penalties for cannabis use.
Washington State needs to pay attention. I know for a fact it's prohibited on probation here.
Well, that's nice that they have it on probation. If you are a medical card holder in Michigan, that is okay. That's nice.
Yeah. I just think it's a bitter irony here. I do several things where you get in trouble for alcohol here, right? You get in trouble for alcohol, but yet when you're on probation, they ban you from cannabis. Okay, I can see banning me from alcohol because that's why I got in trouble. But why are you now just blanketing, telling me I can have no fun Fridays or whatever the case is?
Yeah. Well, you know what time it is.
Oh yeah, my time.
It is. It's 4:20 somewhere, bro. A special Valentine's edition of the 420 somewhere bumper.
That was dope.
Yeah. Thank you for hooking us up with that, Lauren. That's pretty cool.
As always.
Yep. Circuit Judge Thomas Powell declined to hear an appeal in the case, but the appeals court ruled that Powell's decision was not in line with the state's medical marijuana law and decisions of the Michigan Supreme Court.
I think it's great.
Hey, man, the ruling by this Michigan court is consistent with rulings in other cases from other states like New Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona.
Come on. Oh, go
ahead, man.
I was like, come on, Washington. Like how am I in like one of the oldest legal states, like medical and recreationally, and we're like so far behind? Matter of fact, I got dumbasses trying to limit concentrates. Like, just it's mind blowing ignorance that's in charge of our system here. But
yeah,
more power to anybody that's allowed to have cannabis while on probation. Period.
Seriously, though, like if you're trying to limit the purity of concentrates, you can almost make the argument that the bastardization agent that you're using to dilute it makes it inherently less safe. You know, like it's just maybe the 1 gram challenge of that dab. Sure. If you want to like just burn how much is a dab of a gram out there? I mean, it doesn't get any cheaper than $25, right?
No, right. About 25 is the cheap end, and saw yesterday $75 for a high end.
Like a $70 hit. Most people aren't taking those. I mean, if they're doing that, you feel like something they're doing just to hype their YouTube videos, or like the dab road. That's like literally the thing. Like they're hyping this type of using way too many dabs.
Well, just like no one's giving your kid candy, infused candy. Those fucking things are not cheap.
That's right.
I'm not gonna put $10 worth of candy in one kid's bag. No, I'm gonna eat it.
Heck, yeah. I don't even splurge for the full-size Snickers.
I wouldn't get it my kid.
Shit, all right, what else we got reporting? So that's some good news out of Michigan.
Scott's Grow suggests marijuana could bring billions to New York. Wow, go figure. Isn't that Monsanto? Scott's Miracle
Grow is not Monsanto, but they did get into the cannabis industry fairly big time because they are a nutrient company at their core, and as a result of that, they're active in the space. I think they're an ancillary. I don't think they actually have any licenses, but maybe they do. I know that they sell to a lot of growers in the industry, but they're saying the report, which of course was funded by Scott's Miracle Grow, says that marijuana could bring millions to New York and create up to 50,800 jobs.
Quick, shock-faced.
There's no shock face. Everybody knows that. The weed plant doesn't grow or sell itself. I mean, it kind of does, but you still like it. It takes labor.
There's a reason why it's a fucking $1 billion industry in just one state.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, let alone how much did you say last year? 20 billion of all the states combined.
Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous, and so people have been paying. I've been paying $60 for a bag of good weed for 20 years.
Yeah, it's amazing how that's consistent, right? Too, like I was just talking to my kids the other day about that, like because he's talking about like how weed might be illegal when he's older, and I'm like, well, funny thing about that is the market has seemed to like the price of gas goes up and down, and our paychecks, and we talk about minimum wage, but how is it like there's always been a $10 gram, like a reference for everybody to say, okay, about a $10 gram is where I'm willing to pay out of pocket every day or whatever. Like, how did this become a
$20 gram in Illinois?
Yeah, but like in the high times though. Remember we're talking to Robert, the Big Tuna, how he would use the High Times Wall Street little section about the prices. And it just seems when they were making this market, at least in Washington State, they were like, "This is what we're going to have an ideal for when our price point." And there's still a lot working towards there. The quality and quantity hasn't matched yet what was out there back in the day. And I think again, fair market, fair capitalism. That's what we had. It was beautiful, and what should be a chance for everybody. But
yeah, I mean, you still have to get it tested. You still, I think you should still have a license. Like I want people that are going to be growing a consumable food like product to be regulated and have license. So like what that is clean and pure, and like that.
Safe access, and there would be no vape gate because it would all be controlled. There wouldn't be an excuse for a vape gate.
Right. But one day, in the not too distant future, it might take another 10 years after legalization for the actual regulation of it to catch up to the facts of the plant.
I mean, speaking of it, we're talking about the financials. I mean, goddamn, Colorado sold more than $2 billion in legal marijuana. Just one state.
And Colorado isn't that large of a state. And remember, there was a lot of tourism dollars that probably didn't pour into Colorado last year due to the coronavirus, because people weren't really traveling as much at all last year. And it was still, so it's a lot of residents, but then it's still a $2 billion legal marijuana market.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what helps Washington here, at least in the Seattle area. We have so many shops, and I just see a lot of successful weed shops, and I mean, more power to them. I think it's great. Just something to ponder, though, right? Like,
yeah, let's get that chart up there. They have a nice little chart for the Colorado Department of Revenue from marijuana sales. It goes up and to the right since 2015. So, like, from 50 and 100 million. Well, just that's the revenue from the marijuana sales. So, so it must be the tax dollars that they're collecting. They're collecting hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, and since 2014, Colorado's collected over 1.6 billion in tax revenue from their sales of cannabis.
I really liked your the video you did the other day about licenses. Like, I think that was great that you're advocating about how a license is important to the market. Yep. And the regular market is, most people, like all these dirty hippies, don't want to be like, hey, fuck capitalism or fuck the system, fuck the man. No, man, this is how we get to where civility. Right, yeah. like watching the latest impeachment part 2, just like seeing like these people like lay out an actual conversation and actual evidence and say, look, this mofo didn't give a fuck about you. Like, he was willing to let people die, and then we're gonna watch these other guys. Either you're gonna be going down in history as being, yes, I accept that this is a thing, or you're going to go down as a guy going la 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 la.
You're going to go down it like this. You found the Easter Bunny, everybody. It's going to be the first time in history Donald Trump ever gave a fuck about somebody beside himself.
Seriously,
come on, dude. No way. And that's why it was so hilarious. Yeah, he was just hanging out. He knew what was going on. He couldn't be reached.
Yeah, but how do you acknowledge the most recent thing about like that phone call with McCarthy, where he said, McCarthy's like, who the fuck are you? Like, that literally, you can see that conversation. There's no way he would say that. There's no way Trump would be like, I guess they care more about the election than you do. No, man, there's no like shock to that.
Yeah. It's terrible. But I'm impressed though that a state like Colorado, which I think only has about 6 million people in it, maybe that's about it. $2 billion of cannabis sales. That's gonna be awesome. I mean, that could be so many of the other states. Billions of dollars of cannabis sales in your state as well. Think about all the health benefits to your people.
And like you said, the population is not that much. Like, it's not, for $2 billion, you'd have to say everybody's smoking.
Well, as it becomes more widely accepted, and so that's one of the more interesting bills that I saw going on in Illinois, calling for education. And so, like, these types of bills should accompany your legalization. Some of the taxes and the revenue that's generated from the sales, like those $2 billion right there, and like Colorado does this a lot, it goes to fund a lot of their schools. So have an education line item where it's going to go help rebuild the schools, but also you're going to teach them that the endocannabinoid system is a thing. Well, and that'll help push the demand curve.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Like, you would hope though, like educational, like when you say education in cannabis, like that, what you would do. But what we did in Washington State with the safety, with the health department, because the money goes to education and health department. Right. I see fucking bus ads about how if you consume too much marijuana with your friends and your brain cells are dying and all this other hyperbole bullshit. How about, hey, this is the endocannabinoid system. Yes, you can take too much. I mean, that would be the real education, or like CBDs. It's not all it's cut out to be. I don't know, just something actually. It's also about terpenes. That'd be a great one.
Yeah, they will be able to have some type of education like that, I'm sure. But I know that all the stuff that's going to be taught in the schools, especially for the underage, will all be about how it's not appropriate for the developing brain.
Exactly.
And then that's fine. I mean, you know, if they take it from the approach where a lot of people are using weed for, after traumatic experiences, you know, lots of pain, can't sleep. Okay. These are all old people diseases. You don't need them, kids. You know, if you kind of tie why people are using it to something the young kid doesn't have, I think it's more effective at getting them to not want to do it.
Well, I think, you know, at first I've always been like mad at how it's got this like gangster stigma about it. Like, it's the only reason why it's been having that stigma is because of Prohibition and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and some great albums. You know, that's the only reason why marijuana is stigmatized like that.
But that really, I mean, come on, go back to Cab Calloway and the Reefer Man. You know, back in the swing jazz days back then, you know, that's 80. When was that? The 30s?
Yeah, but I mean, as far as the gangster thing goes, because I mean, it's not like you have like, but I mean, I guess too, like what I'm trying to say is like you don't have like broccoli gangsters, right? There's never been like a mass like, but though, do you know the story about bananas?
No.
There was actually like imports early days. Bananas weren't eaten like normal. They were like I guess used as an acid in recipes, whatever. But in Louisiana, I guess this guy discovered like, hey, bananas are delicious, and then he outfueled the Banana Republic like a revolution in there just so he could have the market control of bananas. And you know what I'm just trying to say is like the plant shouldn't be a commodity that's been. It shouldn't be like something that we're willing to fight over, right? The value to it is actually nothing because it's a fucking plant. But because it's Prohibition, because I can't go to the store and buy clones and seeds, someone might get a hair up their ass if they see my plant.
Well, yeah, and I would also kind of venture that hazard this guess, having like a banana republic like that, where you can have a single commodity fruit and then like take it over and then use those monies to fund your whatever type of guerrilla war that you want. That becomes more difficult if with the cannabis is easier to grow than bananas. So like I can grow cannabis in my closet way easier than I could like grow some bananas.
Right. The humidity and all that stuff. I mean, cannabis is an opportunity for everybody for sure. And that's another reason why it's such just an atrocity to have the Prohibition existing, for like the lack of opportunity for everybody. Kentucky, at least they're waking up.
They're starting to wake up. And then they're seeing the money, and then they're seeing the taxes, and then they're also seeing the states are fine. Like nothing is happening in those states. Like suddenly mass hysteria is not breaking out. You know, it's not. If anything, opioid deaths are declining.
You know who's waking up? Mexico.
Mexico is waking up. What are we reporting out of Mexico?
Medical marijuana.
Yeah, medical marijuana program offers firms a chance to enter the new adult use industry.
You know, it's only a matter of time now. I think I told you before that cartels, you know, marijuana has been like the main income for cartels because most people are willing to deal weed than they are cocaine, heroin, and whatnot. When I used to live in Tucson, all the good weed got bypassed through Tucson. It was such a pain in the ass to get. So I think the cartels are slowly going to get into the marijuana business, you know, legitimately. Which,
well, I mean, they have the cash flow to be able to absorb all the regulatory costs that would go with it. But they say that now they're going to start preparing to enter the medical cannabis program. And so if there's some entrepreneurs that are in Mexico that would like to get into it, the Mexican government's getting going on setting the regulatory structure for the medical cannabis in the country and making it possible for companies to soon start applying for research licenses to bring products to market. Wow. And so it's they're starting the administrative path to eventual ownership and regulation of legitimate cannabis businesses in Mexico.
So I see Tilray and Cresco shaking hands with the Sonora gang members down there saying, hey, we want to do research. Will you let us, please?
I mean, yeah. You know, but that's good. I'm glad that there's finally something. So Mexico legalized cannabis for medical use in 2017, but it took 3 years for the government to publish the regulations.
They also decrimmed all small amounts of everything. Like they did an Oregon thing about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Attorneys expect the federal government to start issuing licenses by June for medical cannabis in Mexico. So if you want to get those applications in, we do have people that speak Spanish on
Do
staff.
you have a Mexican liaison down there?
No, but countries around there. Yeah.
Hey, what's your Hemp Direct logo promo?
Oh, I haven't done a Hemp Direct promo. I didn't know. I'm not. We haven't gotten that really, worked on yet.
Hey,
we
$5. Somebody retire.
$5.
Is that what we got? And for the
No,
radio
we made 15. We made 15, and so I'm like, we need better affiliate codes. We do, or like, it's not bad. It's not bad, but
well, we'll do more eventually. We're getting there.
It's a formula, and so like if you have, it's like a sequencing thing. So like if you just put that in at this particular juncture, it helps you frame the show out a little bit more. So there's that.
Hey, what time is it?
Not sure.
I think it's
4:45.
Motherfucker.
All right. Well, if we're gonna do one of those, like, we should. And then, do we have any other promo codes, or do we have any other affiliate codes? That's the only one we got, right? So if we want to make $15, we could give them a shout and say, hey, have you not done your Halloween? I was not Halloween shopping. Your Thanksgiving. What holiday is this again? Valentine's Day. Yeah. Right. Hey, have you not done your Valentine's Day shopping yet? Well, then head on over to Empire Direct and use the coupon code TOMH25 when you're checking out, and buy your significant other some Delta 8 products.
Damn right.
There we go.
Lovers.
Delta 8 is. Delta 8's for lovers.
Well, what did they have? What kind of products did they have? Did they have any lubes?
I don't know. I don't know. You should request it. Delta 8 lube.
I got nothing, dude. I haven't even tried that stuff yet, so I'm just always been the full flower guy.
I'm telling you, I bet we could find Delta 8 lube, simply because Delta 8 is hemp, and now they're putting it into a lot of foods and or dabs. So you see Delta 8 dabs now. You see Delta 8 vape carts, all sorts of things.
Yeah. It's gonna be the new thing for a little bit until another cannabinoid's discovered, or people get a hard on for, or whatever you want to say.
It really helps keep the price of the CBD distillate up, which is nice.
I just hope one day, it's just like the layman people out there who don't, the ones who are being curious about CBD, and then they start seeing all these other cannabinoids coming out, and they gotta start asking, like, well, what else is good about this plant? Like, what is bad about this plant? Let's start asking that. What is bad? And you're not going to come up with any answers.
No.
Besides the lack of it when you smoke it all.
That's true. Sometimes you might not have any of it.
That's a sad day.
All right. Well, let's. I got some. You got some?
I got some.
All right. Well, let's take a small break, because you know what time it is.
Does that last a little longer too? That promo one?
6 seconds.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a second longer.
Maybe it's 5. I'm not sure.
You're funny, dude.
Yeah, it was a good idea to put that bumper in there, and then it also makes sure that we are never using on screen.
Yeah, it makes for good protection.
It does.
We try our best. We
do use the technical term, and then we discuss it from a legislative and compliance standpoint. But maybe that's why our videos are starting to get more suggested.
I don't know. I mean, we're just two grown men trying to change the world.
That's right. One day at a time. One state at a time. Sometimes even one jurisdiction at a time.
Damn
we
right.
have any more articles in the news for the day?
I think we're capped.
Well, all right. If we're capped at that, before we go, I wanted to tell you that you can head on over to cannabisindustrylawyer.com, and while there, you can sign up for our newsletter. But we updated it. We opened an office in Boston, and so we've updated our footer and our map on there to include the Boston office. We're looking forward to the delivery operator's license, and I believe Connecticut just went recently, and so other states in New England that might start going. We'll have more content on the website under our cannabis legalization map page.
Sweet.
Yep.
Getting there, man. We're getting there.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's going to do it for Cannabis Legalization News. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone, make sure you like and subscribe to keep up with all cannabis legalization news. We will see you on Wednesday. Happy
Peace.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.